All right. Well, hello, and welcome everyone to our BG5 Live. Great to have all of you here with us today. Today is June 28th, 2022. This is episode 162. And today we're taking a look at trait 52. And today we're going to be taking a look at stillness. So we're going to take a look at keeping still. That's what we're going to take a look at today. So before we get started, let's say hello to our panel. Let's start with Anna. Hello, Anna. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I love being here. Welcome, welcome.
Great to have you here. Welcome. And let's go to Shelley. Hey, Shelley, welcome.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. Looking forward to diving into trait 52 today.
Yay. And Moxie is making an appearance. It says hi to everyone. Great to have you here, Moxie. Yes. All right. All right, let's take a look at, again, what we're going to take a look at today. We're going to take a look at trait 52. So we have now gotten to the end of June. Can you believe it's the end of June? Next week, we're into July, and June was all about bringing forth progress by gathering together and cautiously including the diversity of humanity through stillness. So we're in the through stillness part. So we took a look at progress. We took a look at gathering together. We took a look at caution. We took a look at diversity last week. And today we're going to take a look at stillness. So one of the things that I found interesting, I put this down here as well, is once we get past stillness, notice that we start off July in the 39. So it's going to be very provoking. And then we start a new beginning with the 53. And then we continue on with the rest of the communication and action traits as well. So right now there is pressure, right? There's pressure in the 52. There's pressure in the 39. There's pressure in the 53. So one of the things that you may experience over the next few weeks is pressure, and it's the pressure to start something new. Remember, this is purpose fulfilled through form. And again, this is the pressure also then to start something new in form. So I found that interesting. One of the other things that we haven't talked about for a while, but I just thought was fascinating, so I brought it into today's session, is taking a look at the past and future direction, basically the environment that we're in. What's very interesting is for approximately 65 days, starting in April until tomorrow, which is June 29th, we have been in the 2343 in quality 4. So there has been it's been about this fragmentation. Again, we have this particular definition currently in the 2343, if we take a look at what's happening in the background. And it's interesting that I've been experiencing a lot of this myself, sort of this, but it's kind of like having to break down in order to break through. There's the one-track mind and there's fragmentation. It's sort of this splitting apart before we can assimilate everything back together. And one of the things that I've just been seeing in the world in general is it seems like there's been a lot of splitting apart. Everything that is going on the planet as well. So yes, these are the nodes, which are the past and future direction, which sets up the environment that we are currently in. So I don't know, Shelley or Anna, if you've also been experiencing that as well, or been noticing places where things have been individuals with one-track minds, or fragmentation where things feel like they're sort of breaking apart.
I can speak to that.
Yes.
Both. It's been really a crazy time. It's interesting. I kind of feel like it's been a quilt, you know, these sections of projects, and I knew there was a link through them all, but they weren't fitting together. And so I would work on one part and another part and get disrupted by something or other, somebody else with a focus on something, you know, a one track. and it would interfere with this sort of this stewing of these different parts. So now I can actually feel the fragments sort of magnetizing to each other. It's making sense now. And yeah, I like that the energy is shifting.
Yes. It just has, especially the last month or so, it just feels, I don't know, from my experience, it's just felt very intense, both personally and out in the world as well. I don't know if you've noticed anything, Shelley.
Yeah, I have to say, just listening to both of you talk, I've been sort of recognizing that things feel a little chaotic. And then I managed to focus and get a whole pile of stuff done. And then it's all chaotic again. And then I focus and get a bunch of stuff done. So that's sort of been the way things have been going for the last couple of weeks. And it's been really intense in this past week. Stuff all coming together all at once. And I sort of feel like it's coming to the end of that too, Anna. Like, can kind of sense that it's now finally all coming together, and it feels organized. And at the same time, there's just so much new stuff coming in too. So maybe we're also feeling a little bit of this shift towards creating something new coming as well. Because it kind of feels like, okay, we're getting this section of things all done, but there's something else just right around the corner. Yeah, it has been really intense these last couple of weeks, especially.
Yeah. And again,
It reminds what you just said, Shelley, just kind of reminded me of, it's sort of like house cleaning.
Yes,
you get something done and it's all pristine for like 1 second.
Yeah.
And then everything's moving again. And it feels like that right now. With just what you said, things are starting to piece together, but there's this new energy that doesn't necessarily undo all the other stuff. It actually, the old pieces coming together, for me anyway, is helping me put the new stuff in place.
Yes, it does definitely feel really intense. I've been feeling the pressure, and especially since the 52 came online last week, feeling really intense pressure with it. So interesting. I'm interested to see what details we'll look at today with the 52 as well, how it layers on over top of this unique, because the 2343 too is about that unique knowing, that unique understanding coming through that genius freak. Is like, okay, all this stuff that's happening, all of this chaos and forming and chaos and organizing, what's the big aha we're going to get out of it? And I kind of feel like that's just around the corner as well. There's been a reason for going through all of this, and something like some light bulb's going to come on in the next day or two.
Yeah, exactly. And so it'll be interesting to see. We're still going to be in the 2343. However, it's shifting from quality 4 to quality 3. So it moves backwards. So it'll be interesting to see. And this starts tomorrow, and it's for approximately 15 days. And then throughout the month of July, we also then pass through quality 2 and also quality 1 until the end of July. We actually shift the background frequency altogether, and it's going to be the 2 and the 1. So really setting up, in a sense, everything for a new direction. So I just thought it was very interesting, just something to kind of, one of those things that make you go, and what are we in store for? So we're moving from this one-track mind to expediency. So things moving much faster. And we're also moving from fragmentation into individuality. So assimilating, kind of breaking apart so that we can, in a sense, get in tune with who we are also individually as well, and our own individual uniqueness, our own individual ideas, knowing, insights, etc. So again, just as a heads up, and just something that I thought was interesting as we continue through this week. I don't know, Anna or Shelley, or if there's anyone else in our Zoom room who would like to add anything, but certainly a fascinating time that we're living in.
You mentioned, Karen, the expediency, and that's kind of the thing I've noticed the most. I've been spending these last couple of weeks getting all of our courses for the fall set up on the website, and things are speeding up, but also getting more efficient at doing it. And I can feel the pressure right now to hurry up and get a few really timely things done. So it's just so interesting to me that pressure just kind of started this week. And then I realized there's a few other things I have to do that I better get done really quick too. So it's funny. Life just kind of moves us, doesn't it?
Exactly. All right. So this is, again, just pay attention to if you feel anything different or if the environment feels a bit different tomorrow than it does today. And I'll be curious to hear potentially next week what you see or what has taken place. All right, let's dive into this week's theme. And again, we are now moving to drive and stamina. So over the next few weeks, you'll probably feel a lot of pressure. And especially for those of you who have drive and stamina, like myself, undefined, you may feel yourself under more pressure to be in a hurry. So let's take a look at trait 52. Trait 52 is about stillness. This is about keeping still. This is also the mountain, and this is focused and channeled energy. So that's what the 52 is about. And the 52 is a temporary and self-imposed inaction for the benefit of assessment, right? So in a sense, with all of the craziness that has been going on, it's a time to pause, to be still. And again, it's self-imposed inaction so that you can assess what is going on and assess what the next move is. Concentration benefits from stillness and also from withdrawal. And it's a passive rather than an active energy, right? So it is just allowing things to flow. It's allowing things to be there. It's being still. It's being strong, like the mountain. And it's a specific form of inaction that allows you to sit still and that allows you to concentrate, right? Such as meditation. So I would love to hear from our panel, and I would really love to hear if anyone here in our live Zoom room or anyone live on Facebook has trait 52 in their design and how that shows up for you. So Shelley or Anna, anything for you regarding trait 52 and that stillness? Yes, Anna.
I have the 52, and a couple of things. I love my meditations. I mean, I could, spend hours sometimes. I mean, it can get boring after a while too, but that stillness, I love the stillness. And with the pressure, I have an open drive and stamina. And I often, what I've learned over the years is if I'm still and sort of observing, aware, I should say, that can be just enough action that my body can settle. But I notice with the pressure and a defined willpower that I tend to I get an idea and I want to charge ahead, and that can disrupt the meditative state. So there's this real subtle place of being still and sort of gathering my energy around me, but not being frozen, not being so still that you're not breathing, not allowing different thoughts to drift in and out. That's the important part, is to just let things sort of casually move instead of this drive energy that I can feel that pressure. The other thing is a year ago to date, I was in chemo and radiation.
Mm.
And the stillness of my meditations during that time, it was extremely horrible physically and extremely wonderful healing in my meditative state. And that's really what allowed, I think, my whole body to heal, not just my body, but all kinds of frequency processes that were just extreme, in very tantric in nature, very, the energy would just stream if I allowed it. And that was the movement that I could be still behind. And I think that stillness, again, it's not a rigid, but that stillness, I think, for me was just a profound exaggeration of all the meditation I've done for years and years. I'm just, I love this trait now that I know how to work with this.
Right, right. Yeah, and it almost forcing you into that stillness in order to heal. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Anna. And Shelley.
Wow, that's amazing, Anna. You're reminding me of some of my own healing experiences over the last few years as well. I do have the 52 in a defined drive and stamina. And the way I've been experiencing it, especially in this last week, is this extreme concentration. I've been really, there's been a million details flying around, and historically that's been confusing for my brain to get a hold of. But in this past week, it's allowed me to actually really focus really intently. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm feeling the pressure, the extra pressure from this trait, moving me into really deep concentration, covering off all the little details of everything. It's been easier this week than it has been in the past to really focus and make sure I've captured all the details. So it hasn't been a time of meditation for me at all, although I do take breaks. I love to walk. That's my meditation. I go walking pretty much every day for about an hour and a half, weather permitting. But I find that ability to just be with my thoughts in stillness, even though I'm walking, it's the burning off that energy, that drive and stamina energy. The walking meditation really helps me clear my mind and make sense out of whatever's been flowing through the day. And I find if I don't do that, I get to the end of the night and I'm flowing through all of those thoughts in my bed while I'm trying to sleep. Doesn't work so well.
Yeah.
Easier to do it at a different time. I did, however, have some really amazing meditative times, probably about this time of year, a couple of years ago, when I was going through my own sort of burnout and healing myself. And wow, yes, being able to go into a really deep meditative state and experience some pretty interesting, timely things that were needed for my healing was amazing. To be able to give myself the time to completely let go, just totally let go and just be there in that state, still like a mountain. And I have to say, I love just sitting and staring at a mountain. I usually, there's a mountain right outside my door, and we've always lived near mountains. And I find if I'm really stressed, if I just sit and look at that mountain, it's like I can feel the energy of how strong and how much strength there is in that stillness of just being. And if you contemplate a mountain, it's not going anywhere. I mean, we can't perceive it to be going anywhere. The geologist told me it's actually moving pretty quickly in terms of evolution, but it moves at a glacial pace to our eye. And I just love that, that feeling of contemplating what it feels like to be a mountain, strong and still, and yet vibrant and alive.
Yeah. Beautifully said, Shelley.
You know,
Yes.
one thing, I love that. That's wonderful. One thing I wanted to add was about concentration.
Mm.
I've noticed since I have the, I'm emotionally defined and I need to pause. Sometimes what I've noticed, I have trait 52 in not transformation, Uranus, which is
Unusualness
that's
or uniqueness.
uniqueness. That's what I was fishing for the word. Anyway, so to me, what I've learned about the 52 in conjunction with pressure and other parts is that there's this transition point from concentration to the next thing. And if you're not concentrating, it's easy to get distracted and you can't concentrate, your mind's busy, like you were saying, Shelley. You know, there's this equal portion of distraction unless you can go to the mountain, the very it's a very physical energy, but it doesn't have to be heavy or anything. It's just a soothing energy for me. But in the concentration, I used to be able to concentrate without any distractions for hours, gardening, putzing, doing things. And then with kids and work and all kinds of stuff, it'd be easier to lose concentration. But what I found that helps me in my concentration is to make this little transition of a pause of the waiting for in the decision, in my decision-making strategy. Just getting up, you know, to go handle something from the other room is calling. And that can be very distracting versus just taking a deep breath, making the slightest pause. Then you don't lose your mountain. You don't lose that stillness. You can make a transition and you're not breaking up the energy. So I just want to, you know, put that in there, that this transition point is what really can help maintain a concentration or allow you to stop the concentration and move to the next thing.
Yeah. And in a sense, this pause, this stillness allows you to kind of what we were talking about before, sort of be able to reevaluate things before, in a sense, things are going to be provoked, right, into beginning something new. So this is, in a sense, sort of the pause before the next thing starts or happens. Yeah, really beautifully said, Anna. And I would love to hear if there's anyone who is here live in our Zoom room. Go ahead and raise your hand. I would love to hear if you have trait 52, or if you know someone who has 52 and experience with someone that has 52. We would love, love, love to hear from you as well. Yes, Michelle, let me.
Hi, thank you so much. Yeah, I have trait 9 as my my conscious grounding, and my father has 52, trait 52, and I just love trait 52. Whenever I'm around someone with that trait, or whenever it comes into the transit field, I just feel very calm and I feel really grounded. And before I understood my design, of course, I felt like there was something wrong with me, that I was missing something because I didn't feel like that all the time. But now I understand that I'm just designed that way, and it's something I'm here to learn about. And so it's really been an incredible relief to just know that I can just be myself, and I don't have to sort of try to get ahead by being able to have that ability to focus. But one of the stories that always comes to mind for me around trait 52 is an experience that I had with my father. He's a builder and he has trait 52, and he once asked me to help him work on a project. He was organizing the basement and he was feeling really stuck. And I just spent about 15 minutes down there with him, and we were able to organize things in a way that would allow him to move forward and do the sort of builder work that needed to be done. And part of this is just being an advisor, but I think part of it is also that connection that he and I have, that when we get together, we can really focus and get something done.
What a beautiful example. That plays right into, I'd love to hear from you again, Michelle, after we talk about this, because you really spoke to how you get affected when you're connected. So the shadow of the 52, and also if you don't have the 52, especially like you said, Michelle, that you have the 9, but you don't have the 52. And so this is the shadow of the 52 is you lack the ability to sit still long enough in order to concentrate. So are you restless and unable to sit still, or do you have a lot of focus, but don't have the ability to channel that focus in a single direction? And so the problem is that you may not be able to sit still long enough to concentrate, to channel your energies in a single direction. And your own lack of determination can be a source of frustration for you. And the solution, and just like you beautifully spoke to, Michelle, is you're designed to work with others, and others can help you become clearer and more focused. And in turn, you may facilitate a focused and efficient use of both physical and mental energy in those near you. And so together with the 59, or with the 9 and the 52, so together with the 9 and the 52, you really have this strength that you can really support each other in being focused and concentrated. So I would love to hear a little bit more if this resonates with you, because it really sounds like what you were just speaking about.
Yeah, sure. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for me, like I was saying, before I understood this, I felt like it was indicating that there was something wrong with me. I thought, I should meditate more. I should be able to sit and focus for these long periods of time. And if I could do that, then I would be able to like get ahead and know where I was going. And then as you settle into who you are, it just becomes really fun to watch, because it's really fun to have the opportunity to connect with someone who can help me focus, and we can do that work together. And then it's also nice when they go away and I get to just be myself again. And so, yeah, I feel like just understanding the dynamic helps you kind of tap into the potential, but also appreciate the difference, the difference between being with someone and being in that energy, and then also just being in your own energy by yourself.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of the big focuses of BG5 is how, first understanding yourself, but also understanding your connection with others and what you bring to the table and what the other brings to the table, and what both of you can do together in collaboration, and being able to appreciate each other's strengths. And sometimes, sometimes you need to focus, you need to concentrate, you need to be still. Knowing how to do that, in a sense, sort of borrowing the energy from someone else who has the 52 in order to do that, and they can borrow your focus, and together you can both work together and get something done. And then, and like you said, Michelle, also the release of that as well, and to be able to notice the difference and be able to use it when you need it, but also to recognize also how it's very different when you're by yourself. Really, really beautiful example. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Yes. And Belinda. Hey, Belinda.
I know, I miss you guys so
I know, it's
much.
been forever.
I know. I'm so happy to be here. Well, I'm going to try to make this as clear as possible, but thank you for your patience, because it's been so much. I think before the 52 was coming online, I was feeling it, because 2 days ago, I was so restless. I was spinning in circles, and that's not normally, I don't have the 52 or the 9, but I was spinning. So I'm like, God, I need to look what's in transit. And then I looked, oh, stillness. And I'm spinning. Oh my God. And so it was a weird awareness, because I didn't realize that I looked at the transit the day after I realized how much I was spinning. So I didn't get a lot of clarity. I just opened up to it. Correct? Does that make sense? Like, okay, stillness. So the next day I tried, okay, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to be clear. And it's not easy for me to, it's easy for me to meditate. I meditate a lot, but it's not easy for me to be still. Right. So I was really trying to look for things where I could be still and be present. And I did that all day. So it was a good practice for me. And then I realized, like if you look at the shadow, I just have a lot of that shadow, and that's all it is. Do you know what I mean? And I can, and I always, because I'm a projector, I'm an advisor too, I always look for other people to do well. And so just now when I got on, the realization that I had, my mother passed a few months ago. So now we're just starting to clean up the house. I cleaned it up for a while, but I got overwhelmed, and I hired somebody. Isn't this, I was just praying and praying for a solution, right? I hired somebody. I don't know her chart, but maybe one day I'll ask her if I can do her chart. But whatever connection we have allows me to focus my energy and start cleaning up the house again. And it got me, I think what Michelle was saying, I was in such a place of like being stuck because I had been so overwhelmed by it, that it took me out of the stuck stage too. So isn't it interesting when we choose to work with other people, how much more efficient and productive and aligned we can be? And I think that was my point. So thank you for letting me share.
Yes, great to hear from you. It's like I said, it's been a while. Yay.
Right.
Yeah, beautifully shared. And again, we were talking about earlier, we kind of see the combination of what we were talking about earlier, of this sort of fragmentation and things breaking apart and kind of feeling chaotic, and now starting to settle down, starting to look at again, this pressure to be still. Again, we can take advantage of those traits in others so that we can work together, also taking advantage of what's happening currently and in the environment, so that we can continue to move forward, and taking a look at the kind of a reminder to calm down and to meditate and to be in that state. So yeah, great example, Belinda. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else in our Zoom room have an example or have an experience or relate to anything that Belinda or Michelle or even Anna and Shelley shared as well?
I have, my kids have the 9. So it's a really interesting dynamic, because I have sort of this influence to calm them down, even when I'm not trying to. They sort of settle down, but they can get so scattered that, I love Belinda's example where, you're spinning. And sometimes I'm like, go away, because I want to get back to my 52, but so it's nice to be able to come and go with those energies. But yeah, they can get really, distracted. And I can get distracted around them unless I sort of remember my 52 and then they calm down. So it's quite an interesting feedback system between those two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and actually I was realizing my husband has the 9 and I have the 52. And quite often, if he's great at the details, but quite often when he has to go through a whole bunch of details, he'll call me in to just come sit with him. And we've realized over time that, at first I thought it was because he didn't understand the details, and it wasn't that at all. He's just, no, just go through this with me, because it was helping him focus on each of the details and concentrate. So now I understand that, I bring the stillness and he helps me focus on the details. That's the thing that sometimes I can't focus on the details at all. They seem to the details just seem to fly all around me, and I can't even catch one to look at it long enough. But it's also when you have a shadow there. So because I don't have the 9, I have to work harder to get good at the details. And that creates that wisdom around how do I have to pay attention to the details in order to deal with them. And even though it takes more energy and it causes me more stress, I've gotten better at dealing with details, and I'm still always amazed at the details I thought I understood. And I look back later and go, where did that come from? Like I said, they're kind of like whack-a-mole. You see one, you think you got it, and then it pops up over here. And it's a really funny, having that open there kind of gives this energetic flowingness that's can be a little more frantic than if it's defined. If it's defined, you've got this fixed way of doing it, it's consistent, you can rely on it. When that's not there, the details are kind of coming and going all over the place. They're inconsistent. So, but it's really great that my husband and I both work at home, so we're only a room away. If we need each other's ability to focus or concentrate, we're close by, and it's helpful, I think.
Yeah, really great example. And Belinda's saying, yes, and spinning is uncomfortable for me, and I like to be grounded and centered. So I look for people and the practices that assist me in grounding and being still. Yeah, beautifully said. All right, what I'd like to do here in just a moment is hear from our panel again and take a look at what to pay attention to this week as we are in the 52. Couple things. One, very, very excited. Lavina is joining us again in the BG5 Business Institute, and she is going to be delivering a webinar on how to unwind your monkey mind, the shadow and the shadow self redefined. That's on Saturday, July 2nd at noon Pacific time, 19 UTC. We're going to have the link. I think Shelley may have a link for the article, and we're working on getting the webinar link. So we'll have that shortly so that you can register and take a part of her Unwind Your Monkey Mind. So would love to see you there. Also, again, you can get your free report if you're new to BG5. You can get a free report to find out what your career design. You can also get a free chart to find out, do I have the 52? Do I have the 9? Do I have either of them? And you can also follow us on, you can follow the BG5 Live. You can sign up for the daily emails. You can also watch past episodes in the free resource library, also on YouTube as well. And Shelley just posted the link to the article. We're also going to be sending out an email shortly within the next couple days so that you can sign up for the webinar as well. And we have our courses coming up in September. So we're planning for our September courses. Would love to have you join us. All right, so to wrap everything up, I would love to hear from each of our panel, especially going into this next week. Again, we are going to be experiencing stillness. We're also going to then be moving into provoking, which we'll talk about next week. But again, it's still pressurized. So again, you may feel extra pressure in this next week that you may or may not be used to. So especially if you have drive and stamina undefined, you'll want to pay attention to the environment and the pressure that may be there. So let's start with Anna. What should people be paying attention to this week as we are in trait 52 of stillness?
I would say just pay attention gently to your root. What helps you root? This is about the root, drive and stamina and there's pressure. When you think about a root in a plant root in the ground, there's pressure to build that root, in building that root. So if you're someone that feels ungrounded, just find out what stabilizes you, what helps you ground. It doesn't have to be meditation. It doesn't have to be any certain thing. Just what's your mountain? You know, what's going to support you to sort of settle a little bit more or a whole lot into your body and help you sort of concentrate your energy, because that's what a root is a concentration of energy that fuels, you know, your life. So the root is pretty important. And just, I would just sort of muse on that. Watch the pressure you feel around having to be grounded or having to concentrate.
Yeah, beautifully said, Anna. And Sarah's saying a new moon tonight at 10. So 52 is a great time to set some goals. And the new moon is a powerful time in the sky for new beginnings. Make at least 3 wishes for what you would like to happen. No more than 10. I love that. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And let's go to Michelle. Anything that you would like to add, Michelle? It looks like you're still muted. I'll go to Belinda. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Hi, sorry, I didn't realize you were talking to me. The question is about what to watch for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I don't know.
That's fine too.
I think what the previous speaker was saying about plants and the root was really, really spoke to me. I've never really thought of the relationship between the root center, the stamina and pressure center, and the actual root of a plant, but there's a real connection there. I can see that, and that thinking about like how we withstand that pressure and what the value of that pressure is. I think that was really beautiful. But thank you. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you for your contribution as well. It's been great to have you here. Beautiful. And Belinda. Again, if you want to unmute yourself,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go back to the same thing that Anna started, that when it's so easy to spin out of control, it's I think trying to be in stillness is really the goal. And I've found and got a lot of guidance lately on, I mean, the past, I would say this whole year, connecting to Gaia, connecting to the earth, being on the earth. And I'm in Miami and it's super hot and it's not very easy for me to be on the earth all the time, but finding ways and talking to the planet and say, what do you need? What how can I serve you? You know, all those ways to connect with the earth. And then I always feel more connected and centered. So whatever works in that, you know, being in your root and knowing you're grounded and centered all the time, I think is helpful. And then you just practice that every day, right?
Right, exactly. Well, thank you so much, Belinda. It's great to
Sure.
hear your voice.
Me too. Thank you for letting me be here and
Yeah,
talking.
thank you for being here. And Shelley.
Yeah, thanks. Everything you've all said is resonating too. And I keep coming back to the mountain, the feel of the mountain. And everybody's talked about, you know, being able to put our feet on the earth and be connected to the earth. The one sort of stillness meditation that I like to do when I'm feeling really scattered is to just even sit in the chair and put your feet on the ground and visualize the root, your root or your tail, your own root chakra, just going deep into the center of the earth. Somewhere along the line, I learned this beautiful imagery that really connected with me, that instead of molten lava being in the center of the earth, that imagining there's this big, beautiful crystal there, and just being able to wrap your own root around that crystal in the middle of the earth. That's something that really helps me within a few minutes if I'm feeling scattered, helps me reconnect right away. Even if I can't go outside and put my feet on the ground, I can at least visualize it, imagine it, and imagine the connection that I have with the earth. and then just imagining what it feels like to be a mountain and to just be a mountain. And even if you only do it a few minutes every day or a few minutes whenever you're feeling scattered, I think sometimes we think we have to do more than we really do. Really just these little bits throughout the times when we become aware that we're being a little bit torn or scattered and distracted, that just taking those 30 seconds or a couple of minutes to just be mindful and focus on that really helps ground us, keep us present, and helps us concentrate.
Yeah, I love that, Shelley. Saying came to mind, do without doing and everything gets done. And sometimes we do get so caught up in the busyness that oftentimes we don't take that time to pause. We don't take that time to reflect. We don't take that time to simply be still. And in that stillness and in that groundedness, it can reconnect us to who we are. It can reconnect us, as many of you spoke about, reconnect us to the earth and to the planet and what's needed and what you need. And, even if you, like Shelley was saying, even if you just do it for a few moments every day, and having that ability to reconnect and to pause and to be still can set us up for new beginnings or a different way of being able to see things, or calm all the franticness and the scattering that's so prevalent on the planet right now, just to really be still and enjoy that stillness. Beautiful. All right, everyone, it has been our absolute pleasure. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Karen.
Bye-bye. Thanks.